Good evening. The final agreement between Petroleum Sarawak Berhad Petros and Petroleum Nasional Berhad Petronas is expected to be reached in the near future following the positive development of ongoing negotiations involving the two energy companies. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim announced that he had received the latest report on the progress of the negotiations and described it as very encouraging. He expressed appreciation towards the role of Deputy Prime Minister Dato' Amar Fadilah Yusof as the chairman of the technical committee under the Action Council for the implementation of the Malaysia Agreement 1963 MTPMA 63, which also contributed in finding the best solution.
Saya harap dalam tempoh terdekat kita dapat meterai cara muktamad persetujuan di antara Petronas dan Petros untuk mengangkat martabat ekonomi kita di Sarawak dan juga di Malaysia.
He said this while speaking at the Sarawak Level Gawai Direct Celebration Dinner 2026 officiated by Sarawak Governor Tun Pen Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar at the Borneo Convention Centre Kuching BCCK on Sunday. Commenting further, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said that together with Sarawak Premier Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Dr. Abang Abdul Rahman Zohari Tun Datuk Abang Openg, they emphasised Petronas and Petros to prioritise mutual interests and establish close cooperation for a mutually beneficial outcome. He said both the federal government and the Sarawak government urged that this matter be resolved fairly, equitably and justly between the two strategic partners as a team. He added that the opportunities available through strategic cooperation between the two energy companies are significant and need to be utilized optimally in order to improve the well-being of the people and boost the nation's economic growth. Datuk Seri Anwar stressed that the federal government continues to stand by the position that was expressed in the understanding between him and the Sarawak Premier.
Kita berbincang soal Petronas dan Petros. Dan kita kekal dengan pendirian yang dimeterai dalam persefahaman saya dan Premier. Apa dia? Kita hormat hak peraturan dan undang-undang masing-masing. Dan keduanya, kita tuntut supaya Petronas dan Petros bekerjasama mengangkat martabat Sarawak dan Malaysia keseluruhannya. It can be done, it has to be done. It has to be done. Through this common resolve,
Sarawak marks a historic achievement by becoming the first state in Malaysia to hand over funds totaling 1.8 billion ringgit to the federal government to take over the management of Bintulu Port, which is Malaysia's main liquefied natural gas (LNG) port and one of the most important in the region. Datuk Seri Anwar said the experience of receiving funds from a state government was something that had never happened during his tenure as finance minister, both before and since becoming prime minister.
Kali pertama saya rasa dah mimpi gawai kan, mimpi apa ini? Dapat 1.8 bilion. Selalunya bukan selalu, tak pernah lagi. Ini kali pertama. Jadi saya ada excitement luar biasa. Sudah tahu, if you manage the country well, you understand the rule of governance, and you put up responsible, competent leaders, I salute you, Abang Jo, your team, you are able to deliver.
According to Datuk Seri Anwar, the handover of Bintulu Port did not experience any difficulties in being brought to the cabinet because Sarawak currently has sufficient capacity, expertise and workforce to operate the nation's main LNG. The Sarawak government has proposed that the federal government re-examine appropriate strategic incentives to accelerate the growth of new economic sectors, particularly the hydrogen and semiconductor industries, which are seen as having the potential to be key drivers of the nation's economic development in the future. Dr. Patinggi Abang Zohari said that the current shifting global economic landscape requires a more progressive policy approach to attract high-quality investments and strengthen Malaysia's position in the future industrial supply chain.
Disebabkan oleh peralihan ekonomi kini, mungkin Prime Minister sir, you can review the incentive yang boleh diberi oleh kerajaan menerusi insentif yang menarik pelaburan dalam ekonomi baru. Khasnya dari sudut bahan-bahan yang digunakan untuk mengeluarkan hidrogen umpamanya, dan juga bahan-bahan semikonduktor yang boleh melonjakkan produk tersebut dan akhirnya menjadi satu manufacturing sector yang saya rasa akan memberi pulangan melalui cukai kepada negara.
Datuk Tinggi Abang Zohari also expressed his appreciation to Datuk Sri Anwar for the continued close cooperation between the federal government and the Sarawak government, including the success in realising the handover of Bintulu Port to the state government. According to him, political stability and close relations between both governments serve as an important foundation in strengthening investor confidence and accelerating the implementation of the economic development agenda. He also shared that Bintulu is now recognized as one of the 30 international energy transition clusters under the World Economic Forum, WEF, thus strengthening Sarawak's position as a vital player in economic development based on green energy and sustainability. At the same time, the Sarawak Premier said that the state is intensifying efforts to develop the high-tech manufacturing sector, including the semiconductor and clean energy industries, to support Malaysia's aspirations to emerge as a major strategic partner in the ASEAN region. The Sarawak government has identified a building in Pontianak, West Kalimantan, to be used as the Sarawak Trade and Tourism Office, which will serve as a hub for economic and trade links between Sarawak and the region. Datuk Tinggi Abang Zohari said the office will be developed in line with the same model as the Sarawak Trade and Tourism Office, which is currently operating in Singapore and Brunei Darussalam.
Ya, kita telah mengenal pasti satu bangunan di Pontianak untuk menjadi pejabat kepada startup state office kita di Pontianak, seperti yang kita bangunkan di Singapura dan juga di Brunei Darussalam pada Segi Pegawai. Modelnya sama dan sudah tentu kita akan menempatkan beberapa pegawai dengan kaki tangan, dan oleh sebab ada kemudahan tersebut, maka ia boleh menjadi hub perhubungan di antara kita Sarawak dengan Kalimantan Barat.
He said this to reporters after officiating the opening ceremony of the Bidayuh Cultural Centre Bawuk (BCCB) and the handing over of the Native Communal Reserve Gazette Section 6 of the Sarawak Land Code and the Land Title Deed Section 18 of the Sarawak Land Code for the Tasik Biru constituency in Bawuk on Monday. The Sarawak Premier added that the growing development of trade relations and the healthcare sector between Sarawak and West Kalimantan has generated the need for more structured support facilities to facilitate the affairs of both parties. In this regard, he explained that Sarawak is also considering the proposal to establish banking facilities in Pontianak following emerging trade relations between the two regions.
Mungkin kita boleh menempatkan bank di sana. We will ask the Afin Bank to consider having a branch there. That will give facilities for the business community to interact between Kalimantan Barat dan Sarawak. Dia juga dengan Kalimantan Barat yang ada Sarawak.
Earlier in his speech, the Sarawak Premier said the Bidayuh Cultural Centre Bawuk (BCCB) as playing a role as a heritage preservation centre for the Bidayuh community's culture, as well as a platform that strengthens unity and the spirit of togetherness among the local community. He explained that the cultural centre provides a space for the community to gather, interact, and carry out various activities that reflect the customs and traditions of the Bidayuh community in Bawuk.
Apabila kita ada pusat budaya yang menjadi ruang untuk masyarakat bertemu, mengadakan kegiatan-kegiatan budaya yang mencerminkan adat resam dan budaya khasnya masyarakat di Bawuk, di mana majoritinya adalah masyarakat Bidayuh. You show your culture. Budaya ini ia menjadi ruang untuk masyarakat bertemu, mengadakan kegiatan-kegiatan budaya yang mencerminkan adat resam dan budaya khasnya masyarakat di Bawuk, di mana majoritinya adalah masyarakat Bidayuh. You show your culture. Budaya ini ia menjadi ruang untuk masyarakat bertemu, mengadakan kegiatan-kegiatan budaya yang mencerminkan adat resam dan budaya khasnya masyarakat di Bawuk, di mana majoritinya adalah masyarakat Bidayuh. You show how you interact among yourselves. You show your talent.
The Sarawak Premier added that the appreciation of shared culture and traditions is capable of strengthening bonds within society, thereby creating closer unity. During the ceremony, a total of 1,316 land lots under Section 18 of the Sarawak Land Code were handed over to 1,142 recipients involving the areas of Apar, Tabong, Segong, Tanjong Poting, Grogo, Sibulu, and Banan. In addition, a total of 793 land lots in the Saukra area were handed over to 655 recipients involving the Jaguai Ope and Brata Ope areas. The Sarawak government also handed over the Native Communal Reserve Gazette for the Banan area, Kampong Grogo, Sibulu, covering 121 hectares, as well as the Senggipoa area, Jalan Batu Kawa, Tondong, Kampong Atas, covering 9.7 hectares. And that's the English edition with me, Philip Yeoh. More news can be found in our official portal, ukas.sarawak.gov.my, and social media platforms including Facebook and YouTube. We run up tonight's UKAS Bulletin with scenes from the Sarawak Level Gawai Dayak Celebration Dinner 2026 at BCCK on Sunday. #Saluran Informasi Rakyat. Have a good night.